Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet.
This review is brought to you in part by Agostini Collectibles. Agostini Collectibles has unveiled the American Car Collection of 143 scale die-cast models. The American Car series brings together some of the most powerful and famous vehicles created by the U.S. automobile industry in a planned series of 80 collectible scale miniatures. Here you see some of the most spectacular American cars that are part of the collection of these fascinating models. Each issue showcases the featured model car and includes its history, technical characteristics, its evolution, and it's illustrated with beautiful photographs in a magazine for it. Now, D'Agostino offers these collections through subscription systems. Check out the link on their site below the review here that details the program there. In short, I can tell you that these are nicely detailed models in 1/43 scale that are very attractive, affordable, and appropriately sized to include in a large collection. Now, you can opt out anytime, and the first issues are specially priced too. These excellent models come in 1/43 scale, and that's about 4 inches long. It's a preferred scale for racing car collectors. Now, every element of the original design is captured in these amazing replicas. It's an accurate and detailed reproduction in die-cast metal with injection molded plastic. They're precision made with realistic detail and hand-painted as well. Each one comes with a clear presentation case, including a display stand with information identifying each car. Now, the model is mounted to the stand with 2 screws to ensure it does not come off its base. And the display case itself is about 6 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 2 3/4 inches high. Each model comes with a magazine that exquisitely illustrates different aspects of it. It talks about the model and gives technical stats about it and describes the model itself in the one-to-one form. Now, it also has a little segment about Made in America, which talks about some. It also includes a little section on USA News, which happened during the evolution and release of the original car or model. Now, the brand talks about the manufacturer that made the car and a little bit of its history. Along with the models that you purchase, you'll also receive some as free gifts. They come at specific intervals during the shipping process, and they're just as exquisite as the others. Here is one of the examples of the free gifts that you would get with your subscription. On your 8th delivery, you'll receive a Shelby Cobra model. I think this is just another great reason for the entire program. I think anybody would love these wonderful die-cast collectibles, and here's why. Your third shipment in this series includes the 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge version, the Plymouth Hemi Cuda from 1971, and the Chevrolet Corvette C3 from 1968, as well as the 1972 Gran Torino Sport from Ford. You'll also receive a special bonus gift that we'll talk about later. The GTO stemmed from the modest Tempest model and morphed into a refined muscle car in its own right, starting the genre in 1964. In 1969, the revamped The Judge model was introduced, and the name came from the Here Come the Judge comedy routine by Flip Wilson. The previous economy engine from prior years and a standard 350 horsepower 400 cubic inch V8 were offered for the Judge, and the top option was the Ram Air 4 model rated at 370 horsepower. Now, it featured special header-like exhaust manifolds, high-flow cylinder heads, an aluminum-specific intake manifold for the car, and a larger quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. Originally, the Judge was to be a low-cost GTO stripped of features to make it more competitive with the stripped-down muscle cars from others. The package was $332 more expensive than the regular GTO, but it came with rally wheels, a Hurst shifter, wider tires, the Judge decals and stripes, and a rear spoiler. The first 2,000 Judges were only offered in Carousel Red, which had a distinct orange tint, but midway into the model year, other colors were available. During the '69 model year, over 6,800 GTOs were sold, having the Judge package, but only 100 were convertibles. And in a nod to changing times, the '69 GTO 4-door eliminated the front door vent windows. The 1971 Hemi Cuda, as well as the other model years they were offered, are hailed as the greatest street racing machine ever created by many. Now, only 115 fully fledged Hemi Cudas were ever sold. The 1971 Barracuda was the only year that came with dual headlights, and it's also the only year with front fender louvers and the distinctive billboard side stripe. And the iconic 426 Hemi power plant generated 425 horsepower. But 1971 turned out to be the Hemi's last year on the market. And I actually didn't mind that, because that 426 Hemi was the motor and the car that I could not beat, even with my 428 Cobra Jet Ford. As a testament to their iconic status, the Hemi-powered Cudas and Plymouths have skyrocketed in value, and there are only 11 Hemi Cuda convertibles produced, which have been sold at auction for up to $3.5 million. The C3 version of America's sports car, the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, was produced from 1967 until 1982 by Chevrolet, and the model year started with 68, even those early production models. The engine and the chassis components were mostly carried over from the C2s, but the body and interior were strikingly new. The C3 models set new sales records for the third generation of the Corvette, and it was the second time they would carry the Stingray moniker. In 1968, they made over 28,000 of the Corvettes. The base price back then was $4,663, but it also featured removable T-top roof panels and engines that ranged from the 327 V8 to the L88 427 cubic inch 430 horsepower V8. It also had a new optional turbo hydromatic 3-speed automatic transmission. At the time, Car and Driver magazine wrote, "The small engine Corvettes are marginally faster and extraordinarily civilized, and the large engine Corvettes are extraordinarily fast and marginally civilized." When the Ford Cobra model was discontinued for 1972, the Gran Torino Sport line took its place and was refocused toward luxury rather than performance. But that didn't stop the designers from giving it a more sporty appearance. A major redesign for the Torino was moving the body to on-frame construction, and with better handling, the already somewhat aggressive look was exaggerated with a large fish-mouthed grille. It was quite successful, and the 1972 Gran Torino Sport sold over 90,000 units. Its engines ranged from an inline-six to a 429 cubic inch V8, but emissions and fuel economy requirements began taking their toll, and these engines produced a lot less power than their predecessors. The same engine, which was now rated at around 200 horsepower, was 370 horsepower in 1971. Like other makes for this year, the vent windows vanished from the front windows. Well, with 4 great muscle cars and to add to your collection, this is a wonderful shipment. But wait, there's more! As a bonus gift, you'll also receive this replica of the Cadillac Eldorado convertible from 1976. Now, the 76 Caddy convertible was probably one of the best examples of the smooth riding land yachts of the time. And once Cadillac had served notice that the convertible would not be repeated in '77, Sales of the 76 Eldorado were up 110% over 1975 due to increased interest in the last convertibles. But 76 production of 14,000 convertibles was an increase of over 156% from the previous year. Finally, the 500 cubic inch engine, which was 8.2 liters, and that V8 was introduced in 1970, was the only power source for the Cadillacs, but it was going to be retired after this year as well. In 1976, the convertibles became instant collector items. Speculators drove the prices sky high. Once production ended and there was no more parts, the prices jumped 2 or 3 times the manufacturer's list price of $11,049. And Cadillac knew the actual last car, made in Firethorn metallic, would be in demand, so 200 last convertibles were built, all identical to the actual last car that was retained for the GM Historical Collection. Well, there you have it. We hope you liked this special diecast kit review from the Agostini collectibles set. These American cars are really nice in 1/43rd scale, and we're enjoying bringing them to you for a close-up view. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the icon in the lower right hand of any of our reviews. Thanks.